The eye test in football is when people judge players based on their personal observation and not by stats. Welcome back, and in today's video, we'll be discussing what is the eye test, is it reliable, and should you prioritize the eye test or stats? The eye test refers to evaluating players based on personal observation during games, rather than relying solely on statistics or data. This method emphasizes subjective judgment, focusing on aspects like a fancy dribbling and flair moves. While the eye test can provide valuable insights into a player's abilities and style, it is inherently subjective and can vary between observers. Now that we've discussed what the eye test is it reliable? An argument for the eye test being reliable is that it captures moments that statistics can't. For example, Kevin De Bruyne can have 50% pass accuracy, but the eye test will show that he takes more risk when passing. His passes progress play and creates big chances for his team. Similarly, a striker's goal tally might be impressive, but watching them play could expose flaws in their positioning or ability to link up with teammates. The eye test also considers a player's off-the-ball movement, decision-making, body language, and ability to influence games beyond measurable stats. An argument against the eye test is that it's unreliable because it is subjective, and opinions can vary based on what people like to see versus what is actually happening. The main issue with the eye test is that people take flashy moves as a means to determine who is a better player. For example, take Haaland and Isak. Haaland can score a quote-unquote tap-in, and people will say that's the only goal he can score. But Isak can dribble past players and score a goal. But people will say, wow, that's a good goal. But my question is, does that decrease or increase the value of the goal? The point I'm making is that prettier doesn't mean better. Yes, Isak can score prettier goals, but Haaland is the better player because his sheer volume of goals demolishes the prettiness of Isak's goals. Don't get me wrong. You can prefer fancy dribbles or long-range goals. But using fancy to determine who or what is better isn't the way to go about it. Just think about what the end of the action produces. Look at my previous video about Salah and Hazard. Hazard can do the fancy dribbling, but Salah has the output that Hazard doesn't have. Now, is the eye test reliable? My answer is yes and no. Using the eye test to compare certain positions, especially midfielders, is the way to go. Sometimes, the stats don't show the things midfielders do on the pitch, like their positioning, off-the-ball movement, press resistance, ability to dictate tempo, and overall influence on the game. A midfielder might not have high assist or goal numbers, but through the eye test, you can see how they control the game, break defensive lines with progressive passes, or disrupt the opposition's play with intelligent pressing. Stats might show pass completion percentages, but they don't always reveal the difficulty of those passes or whether they contribute to attacking build-up. This is why watching midfielders play is crucial to fully understanding their impact beyond just numbers. The eye test, while valuable in football analysis, can often be misleading due to biases, limited perspectives, and the complexity of the game. My reason for the eye test being misleading is that a winger can be doing fancy moves, stepovers, Rabona, flicks, and all of that. But if you take into consideration what they are doing at the end of those moments, it's not impacting the game. A player might look exciting on the ball, constantly beating defenders with flair, but if their end product is poor, losing possession, failing to create chances, or making bad decisions in the final third, then their effectiveness is overrated. People will only see them doing dribbles but not the part where the player is not impacting the game, and then they eat it up and run with it. A player who is a victim of this is Saka. Saka is a great finisher, passer, dribbler, and has great intelligence, but people will still hate and criticize him for not being flashy while he is constantly producing big performances for Arsenal. With all of that being said, it's come to the end of the video. I hope you've learned something today. Remember to like and subscribe to see more opinions like this. Goodbye for now.